Wow. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes? Good. So I'd like to talk today about decisions, or more specifically, making good decisions. Every day we make dozens of them. Sometimes they're big and sometimes they're small, but all of them in their own way help define who we are by what we do. These choices can sometimes be mundane, but sometimes they're profound. And either way, they're no less challenging. Now, I know I'm not the only one to be stuck in the toothpaste aisle from time to time, trying desperately to cut through all of the marketing to understand and make a choice about one product over another. And that's the key there, looking for a meaningful and justifiable reason to embark on a particular path. Now, a little while ago, on a beautiful sunny day, a little bit like today, but a couple weeks ago, I was presented with a difficult choice, one that's unique to Vancouver, and a little bit cliche, I have to admit. I could go to the mountain to snow ski, or I could go to the river to water ski. And I know, it's a first world problem. But as with all tough choices, you need to have a process. So let's start by setting up a framework. Before you can start any decision-making endeavor, you have to understand your end game. What are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? And how do you think you can get there? You have to gather all the information you're going to need to understand where you stand right now and the environment around you and how those interplay with each other. Next, you need to identify and develop your options. And finally, you compare your options, which can be as complex of a process as you want it to be and as the situation calls for. It's much like navigating highways in Texas, if you've ever been there. So we're going to talk about these approaches in a minute, but first, no discussion on decision-making would be complete without first touching on risk and reward. Bigger challenges carry larger risks, and with it, the opportunity for greater reward. As the stakes rise, so too does the impact of the decision and its importance. So when we talk about approaches, you mustn't underestimate the power of the pro-con list. There it is. Plato and Benjamin Franklin relied on them, so I think that's pretty good justification. You can get very fancy with all sorts of other tools and formula and such, but the key really is to pick something that you're comfortable with and that you understand. Now, it's also easy to get caught up in what they call analysis paralysis, information overload, too many options, sunk costs, or my favorite is the decision maker's paradox, where each aspect of a decision requires its own decision and process, which sends you into a never-ending terminal loop. Now, if all options seem equally good or bad, you can always flip a coin. You know, if you can't justify the energy, the random chance is as good as any other tool to get there. It's great for deciding what to eat for dinner, which movie to see, but I probably wouldn't recommend it for deciding who you're going to marry. So for my choice, I flipped a coin, and I went to the mountain. Now, you can always seek the advice of someone in the know. You can phone a friend. This is what we call deflection. Now, abdicating this decision, or any decision for that matter, puts all of the control in their hands, but maintains all of the risk in yours. So if you have a lot of confidence in the person, and it's an incredibly complex topic that you don't understand, it's a good choice. So I called a friend. He said to go on the water. Now, often you'll know what you're looking for, and this is your intuition talking to you. Sometimes it's driven by your emotions, and sometimes if you have a lot of experience and knowledge on a topic, it's just that shining through. People have gone a long ways just trusting their gut. My gut told me the water. So, which approach to use? Well, that's the best part, because like most things, you can create your decision here. This is up to you. So you follow the path that's best suited for your case, which is your personality, your end game, and all that. And most importantly, you have to remember that making no decision is worse than not making a wrong decision. Sorry, making no decision is worse than making the wrong decision. Because if you do not make a decision, one will be made for you, and it may not be the one you like. Speaking of wrong decisions, they happen. And for all the marketing people, will understand this reference here. You just have to understand why you made that choice, what happened, and then move on. Don't get caught up in it. And just because it didn't turn out the way you wanted to, doesn't mean it was the wrong choice. Now, with that in mind, when you make a decision, do it in confidence. Trust that your process was good and that you've done a good job getting there. Be committed to it fully, be determined, and focus on your goals. Once you've done that, you need to take action immediately. Own your decision, put it out there in the world, and drive it as much as you can. Whenever you're feeling waylaid, just focus on one reason why you should do it, rather than all of the reasons and excuses why you might not be. When you will have the opportunity to reflect, review, and in preparation for the next decision. So that being said, there's a difference between determined confidence and pigheadedness. So when it's coming from inside you, sometimes it's hard to see the difference between them. But the difference is very stark. And what it is that when it comes time to reevaluate, it's when you're honest with yourself. When you are honest, you avoid a lot of problems. Now, this relationship between high stakes and extreme confidence is reinforcing because they build on each other. The higher the stakes, the more confidence you'll need. The more confidence you'll have, the higher the stakes are going to be. This man is a perfect example of that in terms of overcoming adversity and doing the impossible. This is why it's so important to have confidence that you made a good choice and have a good process to get there. You need to be able to roll with the punches, because as situations evolve, your decisions need to change. These decisions are not discrete instances, but they're part of a network of interrelated actions and goals and responsibilities. So we usually know what we're looking for, and the key here is to be honest with our answers. One of the most important questions is, knowing what I know now and starting from right now, what do I do next? So what did I do? I went skiing. What kind of skiing? It doesn't really matter. What does matter, and what I can hope to impart to you just a little bit, is that it's important to have a system to get there, to make meaningful decisions that you can be proud of, and ones that will have a positive impact. Thank you.